Welcome once again. This is X-Cons for Trump live on IntellectualRadio.com. That's X-Cons for the number 4 Trump live on IntellectualRadio.com with your host Tyrone Muhammad and Carter Trust. Hey, it's always good to see you and you seeing us. So we here with a great show. Carter, oh man, y'all in for a treat. She done wrote some stuff down.
Yes, indeed. Hey. It is Carter Trust in the building, sitting here with my brother Tyrone Muhammad. And let me just tell y'all, it is such an honor to be sitting here with this brother. And this is truly my brother. I love him. I love his wife. They are my family. And we in here making it happen, making sure that our people are informed and that they have the information that they need in order to make informative decisions about who we are going to support, who we need to support, and who we need to dump in these upcoming elections.
Dump.
Let's talk about it.
Drain the swamp. So says the great president, number 47, Donald Trump. Drain the swamp time. X-Cons for Trump live. Please call in if you like. That's 708-223-8953. 708-223-8953. And please do yourself a favor. Go and subscribe and share IntellectualRadio.com. Once again, the great work of Earl. Man, that's our guy, Winfrey. IntellectualRadio.com. And share the live now. Share the live and go subscribe. We that's the least we can do to support one another. Yes. So, Carter, real quick, I'm gonna throw it up like this. We are still feeling the withdrawal symptoms of our brothers and sisters who voted for Kamala Harris. Yes. And what I'm saying is everything that I'm hearing Mr. Trump say is about how you open the tent up, how how we work to heal our country. But I don't think it's possible. And this is what I mean. It's like I keep hearing them talk about like all of the issues still right now today, talking about Trump as though the people didn't decide, right? Talking about who at fault. I haven't heard no cogent, consistent, and concise measure of them saying, we lost because we didn't do this, this, and this. We lost because we over pushed the gender issue. We lost because we over pushed the right to choose. We lost because we our body and just what I'm saying. We lost from the migrant crisis.
How about we lost
no issues
because we didn't support our base? How about we lost because we forgot about the people who put us in the position we were in? How about we lost because we didn't listen to the voices of the voters? How about we lost because we let our egos guide us right on out of the White House? How about we lost and it's our own fault?
So, and then we're talking about a school system, in my view, that hasn't since I've been born. And you may be a few years younger than me, Carter. Listen, I never saw
Brother Tyrone.
I never saw
a few years older.
I never saw the school system where that even I thought that it was really serving us. I never seen a school system that really served us unless it was a school system that actually followed us. And what I mean by that is that when we came from school when I was younger, we went to the what you call it, the park district and the field house. That was actually tutors still there trying to help us with our homework, help us learn a lesson. I kind of learned how to do a few algebra problems by not doing it in school, but I learned it in the park. Like in the park district where they had like actually college students that was volunteering to help us learn and to clean up what we didn't get when we was in school. Do you remember those different places?
Well, that wasn't my reality. Although, and I'm not going to say although because I think it was a very good thing. I grew up on the south side of Chicago, and I went to grammar schools where my teachers lived in the community, where our
Oh,
teachers
wow.
walked to school with us. And
Mm.
so our education was important to them, it mattered to them. And that was the early part of my schooling when I lived in South Shore. And even when I moved to the low end later on and went to Phillips High School, you know, we were a part of this program. It was a principal scholars program, and it was where all of the elite students from all around the city got together once a month, and we would meet up over at UIC, and we would compete in these different contests. And let me tell you something. We stood up against the best of them.
Yeah.
And so I can't say that that was my reality because at that time we
So
had
you saying the teachers
teachers.
was different?
The teachers were different.
Okay.
And I don't know that the teachers were that much different. You have to remember that I'm in schools now, and we were different. We were more respectful. We were
You
raised.
mean
We
okay?
had
Got it. Got
manners.
it. Got it.
We didn't have all of the traumas that our children are dealing with. We didn't have all of the
Mhm.
baggage. We were poor, but that did not stop us from being able to understand why we were in school
Yeah.
and the fact that we were there to get something.
Yeah.
And so
But
that didn't
but
stop.
in that school, you didn't have all the distractions. You didn't have no
We
boys
didn't.
and girls bathroom talking about genders. You didn't have probably that was a clear distinction and
No
separation.
tampons in the
Boys
boys'
bathroom.
bathroom.
So
No.
that was an actual separation because the teachers, the children knew not to play with teachers.
Yes.
Because guess what we had? I got batting paddles. I had all that stuff ready for me.
Oh,
And I
yes.
got it. And then when I violated that, guess what my mama did when she came up?
You got it again.
I got smacked right in front of the whole classroom.
Yes.
See, you ain't doing that no more. You better not put your hand on your
You
child in public school.
well, see, again, I guess because I'm a little older, because I beat one of my kids down in school, and I remember the principal telling me, Miss Truss, if you hit him again, I'm gonna have to call the police. And I was like, you
Uh-oh.
do what you have to do, cause I'm getting this tail here,
Yeah, you
right?
going to
I'm
jail.
getting, I'm got to do
Nah,
what
you going to jail.
yeah. And you know what? As my mother used to say, I brought him here, and I take him out.
Well, you ain't
So
gonna.
if that means I'm going to
No,
jail,
college.
clink clink,
You might need to be in another
clink
school.
clink.
You might need to be in a charter school or
Clink,
something.
clink.
You going to jail.
Yeah, I would. Yeah, I would definitely.
And
Be
then the mother's gonna come up there and you're gonna
Oh
end up
yeah,
going to jail again because
yeah.
now you got to fight the mama
You got to fight the
because you don't put
mamas.
your hand on her child who called you a B.
Well, see, I already know not to put my hand on a kid that hasn't put their hands on me. Now, if you hit me, that's a horse of a different color.
Okay.
Just Tyrone. Like I said, I'm over here talking about how you my brother. Get your bail money ready. I
Now you
actually
gotta
had
get
a
the
kid
bail
to
money.
punch me in the face 2 weeks ago,
God,
and I let him know.
you hit me again.
You get this one because he
Oh,
was 5.
oh,
You get this one. But if you ever, as long as you got a butthole pointed toward the ground, do it again. Because I don't care how you flip that body, it's pointed toward the ground. I'm going to jail.
yeah.
And I told his mama, if he ever touch me again, I'm going to jail.
Yeah. Get the bail money.
Get it ready.
So, God, real quick, is there anything interesting you want to talk to the people about? But once again, after she talk about these issues, you can call in at 708-223-8953 if you want to talk about these issues or you got a question or answer for Miss Truss after she run down this list. I'm
So
ready.
the first thing I want to talk about, and let me just say, it's really a shame that we come on to this station every week, twice a week, having to bash Mayor Brandon Johnson.
Ooh-wee.
That is not why I live. That is not why I get up in the morning. But unfortunately, this brother, as I continue to say, has an issue reading the room. Let me start by saying the first thing, because this is serious, people. Illinois has the nation's third largest number of unemployed residents. That number being 346,000 as of November.
The nation's largest?
The nation's third largest.
Third largest.
And this is even after our governor Pritzker, has appointed himself as the superhero of democracy. Now, let me tell you.
Based on what?
I said himself. He appointed himself. Now, listen to me when I say this. Y'all know that when you see a number like that a large percentage of that number is people that look like me and you. While our mayor and our governor are standing up 10 toes down to support the migrant community. Now, people of Chicago and Illinoisans, in what world can you have 346,000 Americans unemployed, most not receiving any benefits, most a part of head of households, leading families, and not reaping the benefits that we're seeing our new arrivals get?
Hold on.
Y'all okay with that?
I
just want to know,
for
people.
1 second. This is not just Chicago. This is Illinois.
This is Illinois.
So that means J.B. Pritzker, who has the audacity to talk about what the president is not going to do, has the third largest unemployment in his state. And Chicago being one of the largest, probably the third largest city, I think.
Yes.
I think. And the resources from the state and local government has been placed at a deficit of our city and state. Because if Chicago is in the deficit, Illinois is in the deficit. And I think it was delivered with both them, Chicago and Illinois, both had surpluses, I think.
That's right.
When these two men inherited it.
That's right.
So we unemployed, nearly 400,000 unemployed. And that's just the numbers they put on.
And that's just
because I'm not even. Look, I know cats that ain't ever even tried to even apply.
That's it, and that's the numbers that we see.
So they ought to be ashamed of themselves.
Yes.
Where they are now. Look at this. Keep that before you go to the next point. These people are now training the unions. See, that's who are their special interest group for this migrant crisis, and Brandon and J.B. Pritzker. Those people, they are training migrants to be in construction and manual labor as well as manufacturing jobs.
Yes.
All right.
And we can't even get those jobs. And let's not even talk about how our young people.
We don't want them jobs.
But that's some of it.
That's what they said.
But let me make this point. Our young people, our teenagers, can't find jobs at the McDonald's and the Burger Kings and the Taco Bells. You know, those jobs that our children used to work after school. Because, see, when you walk into those establishments now,
they don't look like us.
They don't look like us.
Oh.
But we still go there and spend our money. We're going to talk about that at a later date. Let's talk about the crime in the city of Chicago. Keep in mind that the number of homicides across this country has been on a steady decline in every place. But guess where?
Chicago.
Our mayor has not had a conversation to address crime.
But he always talking about, see, he try to use black people when it's convenient for him. I'm not gonna let you come in here and you terrorizing black people because of ICE and you removing black family. This man want to make you all believe he care about black people, while he single-handedly has said nothing. And this is his city. Those are his police. This is his police department. With the number of women and children that's murdered in Chicago every year, I'm not talking about the cats that's drilling, killing, and sliding on each other. That's expected. That's been going on since I was little. I'm telling you, that's been going on since Al Capone and them and Frank Nitty and them or whoever their names are. I'm telling you that he don't ever do real press con. You can say what you want about Miss Lightfoot. You can say what you want about her, but she had a press conference like every week about some violence.
Yes.
Is she fake like she was trying to fix it? But it wasn't true because she had a lady named Susan Lee that was over public safety, that was responsible for reducing violence in Chicago. Come on, man. How do we
Listen.
keep on
It's like we're
electing these
recycling these
misfits,
same misfits, and we continue.
degenerate?
And let me just say this, because I think that, a lot of people, Tyrone, you've been a Republican. The Republican Party is
No,
is new for me.
I never been a Republican.
Oh, okay, right. You were
I'm I wouldn't even dare claim no party.
right.
That don't make sense because my motto is don't lose that point though, because my thoughts are, if we call ourselves the United States of America, and the election showed us that we are 50% Republicans, 50% Democrats, how the oxymoronic nature of belonging to a party and plus calling yourself an American or the United States is not real. We are not united as states.
We're not.
And we're not united as communities.
And you know what?
We ain't even united as black people. So that's a lie. So I represent independence, but I will vote my interests. And Donald Trump represents my interests. I voted for him before, and I voted for him again. And I'm going to vote for him again if we can run. Donald Trump, can't you do something with the Constitution that allow you to get another term? All right, go ahead, Kyle.
I digress. And let me just say that, you know what, you're right. And I think that I'm probably more of an independent, because let me tell you something. If these Republicans get in here and they don't do what they're supposed to be, I'm going to switch again. And so, look, listen. But let me just say this. And the reason that I decided to walk over from the Democratic Party was the fact that we have been voting this way for me almost 40 years. And in those 40 years, there has been very little to no change. If you think about it, and we keep echoing this, we haven't really seen any real climatic change since the civil rights movement. And at what point do we say to a party that we have blindly supported, you're asking us to have your back? Just like with this election with Kamala Harris, you all asked us to just jump out there and blindly have your back, and you have given us nothing. When we ask her about what she's going to do for the people that she claimed were her people,
black people,
she didn't have an answer for that. When you ask her how does she feel about, well, she had an answer. It wasn't the one I wanted to hear. And when you ask her about reparations, her response was, well, we have to have a what is that? They have to have a what is that word that they use?
That's Ronaldo Hudson. The study.
We have to have a study.
Yeah. About reparations.
About right. We have to have a study. But when they wanted to give millions, billions at this point of dollars to support migrants, there was no study done for that. Those cities came up with that money and they rolled it out. Another thing I want to talk about.
Real quick, before you get on that point, keep it, because you don't buy. Ronaldo Hudson asked me to break down what I mean about the babies dying and women and babies. Last year, because she's on violence, she talking about crime, and that's partly contributes to that. Ronaldo is that Most cases, when you talk extended clips, 100-round drums, and these shorties are shooting, a lot of innocent women and children get shot. They just found that I think some kids just got shot sitting in the living room
Living
or
room.
something.
Mm-hmm.
So last year, over 150 women and children was murdered. It didn't make the news, Renato. That wasn't something that Brandon Johnson said, hey, we're having a national crisis. And clearly, the current state of violence intervention and policing isn't fixing or solving. They always want to talk about they reduce murders. But you don't, what y'all fail to understand is that they didn't reduce murders. God reduced murders. If I get shot 10 times and don't die, that ain't because I wasn't shot. That's because that's because God decided that He's gonna put me in front of a great surgeon and a great
Yes.
praying grandmama, girlfriend, aunties, and it may not just be my time, but there's a lot of shootings happening, and I know guys personally, Carter, who got shot. It went through and through, and they so scared of the police and the hospitals that they just patched that thing up, let that wound heal, and that's not a reported.
And
That's
it's
not
not,
a
yep.
reported. You're not even
It
reporting
never
that.
goes
So
reported.
so that happens all the time. I got shot in the wrist when I was young. Didn't even didn't even call the police. This is what I'm
Mm.
telling you. This stuff happens, and
Yes.
we not reporting it. That don't mean
That
crime
don't
is
mean that it
down.
has not happened.
So
That's
so
it.
that's what I mean, Nano. A lot of women and children are being hit.
Hopefully, Ronaldo, that answers your
Yeah,
question.
all right.
Another thing that I want to talk about is the fact that the state of Illinois is currently on track over the next 5 years for a deficit of $22 billion.
Wait, say it again.
$22 billion over the next 5 years. Now, let me just explain to you the problem with this current administration and this deficit that we are facing. There's a lot of federal money
Mm-hmm.
that could come to this city that could help fill the gap. But because our mayor and our
Governor.
governor are decided to be so aggressive in their need to not bend, in their need to stand up, and we're gonna fight, regardless of what the numbers have shown, regardless of what the returns in this prior election have been, showing you that people are not satisfied. And as I continue to say, people did not vote for Trump because they were so in love with Trump.
Right.
People voted for Trump, some people, because they just
Can't take
didn't
no more.
like what the Democratic Party was serving up. And so I say that to say, instead of standing on your morals or your laurels, our state needs that money. And so if it means that you got to go and smile nice in front of the camera and sit down and think about your constituents and not yourselves, then perhaps Mayor Brandon Johnson and Governor Pritzker, that's what you ought to do. If it's really about the people and we really need that money.
Well, it's not about the people. It's about his special
Well,
interest group. Because
yeah,
I'm
but
going to protect you. We got to protect you. If you mess with my people, first of all, you ain't got no people. When the government decree or order, you going to go to jail too. If you get in the way of the order that they decree. That's what elections are. Elections have consequences. Y'all voted for Brandon Johnson.
I did.
Y'all voted for Brandon Johnson. So why Carter is sitting there talking about Brandon Johnson? She voted for him. Raise your hand.
I did.
And so the elections have consequences.
Can you say buyer's remorse?
Man, elections have consequences, and guess what we got to do? We got to deal with those consequences. So I want to talk to you while she on that point, the arrogance of not listening to the people and then only taking care of your cronies and a certain few that's in your circle, even when you claim you in here for the people. If you wasn't in Brandon Johnson and CTU circle, you had nothing coming. If you didn't play the game with my man downstate and whatever it is that he wanted done, or he didn't give you no money, or he didn't control you, you didn't have nothing coming in this whole city. Now, guess what? Some people came up to me and said, Tyrone, I heard you with Trump. You know he gonna take over our social program. We gonna lose jobs. I said, yeah, maybe it's time for some other people to take y'all jobs.
That
Maybe
part.
it's time for you to be fired with the swamp. Because we done got a lot of black folks in position in these social programs that got comfortable. They ride, listen,
Baby,
they're around here
listen.
pushing their chest out. They showing up at these mixers and social light events, and they swear they're on top of the world. But the humility that I see now, boy, God is so awesome. How in the world that you can go from right up here calling everybody that voted for Trump a sellout, a N
Yes.
word, a clown. Man, if somebody called me a clown one more time, man, I'm gonna go and get
Yes.
me a red nose. I swear. Hey, listen, man. We are clowns, but they hook, line, and seeker keep voting for devils over and over and over again, as though Trump is leading Illinois, as though Trump is the leader. If I'm the
Yes.
clown for voting for somebody who's a winner, because he won, who are you for constantly voting for people who steady violate your people in your community?
Steady doing it, steady doing it. And here's the thing, and I say this every week, and I'm going to continue to say this. If you have not had the opportunity to take some time on a Wednesday morning and go to the city council meeting and just listen to the people stand there and pour out their hearts talking about their dissatisfaction with what is happening in this city and the dismissive attitude
Woo.
toward them by our elected officials, it is astounding. And I think that that is the thing that really turned the tide for me. I think had I not, and even though I was standing there fighting for Amerson Park alongside my neighbors and people in my community, it wasn't that changed my mind, that just caused me to be fed up. It was going to City Hall, taking carfuls of people with me, standing in front of the mayor and in front of city council, expressing my dislike for our sanctuary city status
Oh
and the
man.
fact that the money that was being spent was going to bankrupt the city, and having the mayor and all of city council to stand there and look at us and say basically, so what?
So what? Holla all you want
We
to.
gonna do
We
what
don't
we gonna
care.
do.
Gonna do what we want to
And it
do.
was at that point that I said to myself, I can't keep doing this. I can't. I can't. You know, my grandmother used to say all the time, better the devil you know. And it's one thing to see a
So
person like Trump
uh,
and know what you're going to get. And then to get these Democrats who say that they are working for me, that they are supporting me, that they want to bring stability to our communities and our neighborhoods, and they ain't got nothing for us but a turkey at Thanksgiving and
mm,
Christmas.
mm,
I
mm.
need a little bit more than a turkey. I don't know about y'all. You know, I know that works for our seniors. You know, they go and they give them a turkey and a ham and they vote for them religiously, but it's not enough for me. And it shouldn't be enough for you.
So speaking of sanctuary cities, I got court tomorrow.
Mm.
I got court tomorrow, y'all, for trespassing on the property of a hotel. Uh, is a hotel public or private? It's in the middle, right? They are
Give me
private
kind of a minute.
owners,
Yeah.
but the public is welcome, right? So I go, as y'all know the story, I've said it before. Here I am And the grace, the goodness of all of this is that Donald Trump was elected. I think had Harris been elected and I trespass on public property that has no trespassing signs, where that's housing hundreds of migrant families, while black women and children are on the streets, while veterans are on the streets, while mental health homeless people are all over Chicago, and I go to get a room myself just to see, and I'm denied a room and said there's no room, that you have to get off the property. You are trespassing on Holiday Inn hotel property. They're hiding on Cicero. Go over there and see it for myself. Everybody tune in. Cicero and 74th Street. Go look at the Holiday Inn. There's no trespassing signs. I'm giving them opportunity to even put them up there now to keep y'all out. And there's no sign saying government facility. But yet I was arrested because the migrant caretaker or agency told the police, lock him up, he's trespassing. Hold on. A migrant agency can tell the police that I pay taxes to lock me up on a property that I wasn't trespassing on.
Oh, Tyrone.
And I go to court to my 111th Street.
And wait a minute, don't forget the fact that you spent some days in jail.
I spent days in jail. I had to go to jail for 2-3 days.
Yes.
And you don't see me crying, because this is the type of stuff I do for our community, to shine light on the disinvestment and the inequities that's placed against us.
To that point, Tyrone, I don't know if you called me on Fox last night, but one of the things that we were talking about is the number of Venezuelan gang members that have been arrested here in the city of Chicago
and released
over the last 2 years. Now here you are, an American citizen. All you did was
a community servant.
And all you did was go onto a piece of property. These young men who were released from Venezuelan prisons, some of whom cut their bracelets off on their way over here, still had bracelets on them, have been arrested here in the city of Chicago,
for violating
released for rape, for drug possession, for vandalism, for theft. They go in, released. The police have been told not to hold them. And so we know what happens when criminals or when people are allowed to commit crimes with no recourse. They become more bold, more brazen. So if you are turning these people out into the streets after having committed crimes, what message are you sending? And then to top that off, we don't even know the number of those prisoners that have been released that are living here in the city of Chicago, for our mayor and our governor to stand 10 toes down, saying that they're going to protect everybody who has come here.
I'm asking Brandon, how do you protect me? How you don't protect me from going to jail for trespass?
How do you make a statement like that, knowing when the CIA has told you that these people are here, and at the very least, if you don't just allow ICE to come in and get those ones, but to stand 10 toes down saying you're going to protect them all?
Well, this is your government, right?
Come on,
this is your government who says they really care about public safety.
Come on.
And public safety issues. This is the evil of your government, because they got an interest. They got a plan for you. He would tell you that, tell ICE, don't come get the bad criminals. Them either. He not even identify. Okay, here go all these bad guys.
That's what I would do.
And
I would be like,
the bad guy. Don't worry, I'm gonna help them.
Look, I would be like, listen, they coming for somebody. Let's round them up and let them take
them. So
we
these
ain't
good
even
people,
hearing that.
These good people going, they trying to do
listen.
good over here. These ones over here really trying to integrate in society and do well, pay taxes and take care of their family while they left the Venezuela. But this is the crazy part. And it's been proven true too many times. The ideal is, why didn't we take for the fraction of the cost to house them?
Yes.
I'm hearing from real reputable people and real experts that the money we spent throughout the United States to house migrants from New York, LA, we was in Baltimore. We saw them there too. And all these Democratic so-called sanctuary city could be enough money to repair their whole government. And their whole community could have built high rises and communities. They could have built communities with tens and millions of dollars. I ain't even talking about billions yet. They could have reformed their own countries. Then to come over in our already disinvested community, impoverished neighborhoods, that we don't get the money to even build our own neighborhoods. But we got the money to give to non-citizens. Y'all gonna lose for 8 more years.
And be okay with it.
Y'all gonna lose for 8 more years.
And be okay with it. And the fact of the matter is, if you looked at what's happening in California right now, they got buses lined up.
Oh, Lord.
Sending them back to the border. So does New York. Buses lined up, sending them back.
I'm about to change my name.
Look, not Chicago.
I'm about to change my name.
We done doubled down.
I'm finna change my name, y'all. Tyrone Muhammad, the Chicago Bounty Hunter. I'm telling y'all, get ready. I'll be like Dog the Bounty Hunter with the pepper spray and my bulletproof vest, where everybody, they done look. See, we laughing now. When check this out. Check this out. When Dog was doing that, going to arrest people who was out on warrants or fugitives who was out there, y'all made a whole show about this stuff. They was arresting old poor white people, black people. He was going to get them. Now, cops too. They made a whole show about that. I need any producers out there. I'm gonna need a show. Tyrone Muhammad, the Chicago Bounty Hunter, because I'm gonna have my pepper spray. I'm gonna have my handcuffs and my zip ties. Hey, show me your papers. I ain't got none. Your ID? Huh? How long you been over here? Oh, okay. ICE. We got 5. I'm telling you. I'm about to go. In fact, y'all, we got Tom Homan coming to Chicago, and I'm about to be sitting with him talking about how we rid our communities of illegals. Now, hate it or love it, the underdog don't top, and I'm gonna start. I don't know how.
Well, however that song go, that's our theme song. But, let me just say this also. Do you all know Chicago? Well, this ain't last. I got a couple of points. Chicago, our mayor has been voted by the Wall Street Journal as the worst mayor in America.
How is that?
The worst.
Out of all these,
not in Chicago.
Out of all these cities,
the worst mayor in America.
How?
But we didn't really need to Wall Street there.
We didn't need that. But no, you know what? They got all the mayors, the statistics, they talk about all that. The fact that they even the little bitty towns, man, you the worst mayor in all of America. Man.
In America.
What y'all think about that?
The worst.
Brandon don't like us.
Yeah. I've been not liked before. I'm okay with that. I promise you I'm good with it. I lost some friends. I
lost a lot of friends.
During this election season. I lost some friends. Probably lost some family members. And you know what?
I'm free.
So I don't get up in the morning banking on who likes me. Thank God. So if you out there and you're listening to me,
how inauguration tickets coming?
You know what?
I'm working on my end. I'm working. Hey, Carter, listen, I'm working on 4. We may have 1 inauguration ticket to give away for the
we might have one of our listeners. We have
the number 12 caller, 13 caller.
Ride down to Washington D.C. with Carter and Tyrone and hang out with
Trump. Oh
Yeah.
yeah, we're gonna have a time. We're gonna have a
It's gonna be a good
ball.
time. It's gonna be a good time.
It's about to be a ball.
Lastly, y'all, we gotta talk about
He
this.
said, look, somebody said worse than Tiffany. Who said Tiffany was the worst man? Who based on who?
Well,
Based on now, I'm just saying, because the people you got to determine that through the people,
yeah,
not social media.
right.
Because cause watch this. If they reelect her, who the problem then?
I ain't got nothing to say about
That's all
that.
I'm saying.
I live
Somebody
in.
said
I
somebody
look.
reposted Tyrone Muhammad, the Chicago
I
bounty
I
hunter.
live in Chicago, so I can only
That's what
talk
I'm saying.
about my mayor, and I'm bound to agree with the Wall Street Journal. But let me just talk about this. You know, they had that vote. You were there, about the $300 million tax increase, property tax increase that the mayor tried to force, and then went back and said, "I was just playing." You know how when we in school, you know, I'm a teacher, and we joke like we kids,
Yeah, we just
and
playing.
and
I just
and
want to see if you was
and
going
our
if you
money
was
is
gonna
something
play.
that you could play about. But the city council, I'm being told, has settled on not a 300 million, but they're gonna cut it in half and do us a favor and make it only for 150 million.
City
Do
count.
us a favor. I you gonna do me a favor?
He not gonna
Y'all know
do
what's, yeah, but
nothing.
y'all know what's crazy about that? Man, listen, this 100 million dollars been floating around ever since they didn't get that millionaire's tax.
Oh yeah, that's true.
Ever since they didn't get that, he gonna get that money for
Man,
them peoples.
man, I just don't
I just
understand. When you
and
don't know, you been licked. You
but
been
let's
licked.
talk about the fact that if you go back to all of Brandon's clips from when he was running for mayor, what did he say? I will not raise property taxes. I don't have to raise property
But they gonna play
taxes.
that when they run
Wait a
against
minute.
them over
There
and
are
over.
other ways to get revenue in the city without raising property taxes. But now the opposers are stressing and need to wake up. Ain't that what he said? We need to wake up. We need to wake up
Cause they woke.
because you promised us. You made that promise over and over and over again. But because we don't support you sticking to your word, we got to wake up. Well, you know what, Brandon? I'll be really honest with you. I probably figured that you would have to raise property taxes because, unlike most people, I pay attention to the city budget. And we knew that COVID money was going to run out, even if you did waste some of it on the migrants. So we knew that there would have to be a tax increase. I don't know why you didn't know it. I don't even understand why you would make a promise like that. Now you got to go back on your word. Not that your word is very much anyway right now, but you know.
Well, you as we get ready to close out, what we got we got about 10 minutes. I want to say did you got a few more points on that, Rick?
No,
You think you got it?
I think I got it. You know,
So
I hit it all.
I just want to say maybe Thursday, Carter, because now all politics are local, and we need to start lining the people up to determine which wards. I like the wards. I think if we flip the wards,
But see, Tyrone,
and I
that's
think
why it was
go ahead.
important to point these things out.
Yeah.
Because see, now next week when we start talking about wards, and when we start talking about aldermen that we want to unseat, and listen to our listeners, y'all make sure that y'all share this video with your friends, because see, you may have some friends, some relatives, or even yourself who may be thinking about or aspiring to run for political office. Yeah. And we want to tell you that the city of Chicago is not happy. And so now might be the opportune time for you to throw your head in the ring.
But let me say this, not anybody. If you haven't fought for the community, get out the way. Honestly, because there's a lot of people out there that really are worthy of an opportunity help make legislation to make their communities better, that actually fight for elders, fight for the community. They're out here providing services, and they're probably more qualified because they're grassroots workers. They really down there on the ground. So it's not just running for office. Do know you. Like I've seen so many people, I'm gonna run. You ain't even been on the block. You don't even know the blocks of your ward. Like, be for real. Like, let's start realizing that you all know in every community that there's somebody that stand out. If it's a regular civilian that stand out, that do a lot of good in the hood. Those are the people we talking about that we need to get behind and push.
However, if you are an affiliate
Uh-oh.
of the Chicago Teachers Union,
Oh Lord.
we see what kind of people y'all put
Yeah,
up.
please do not.
We're
Please. We
not.
coming at all CTU
We are
members.
not
If
supporting
you're a
you.
CTU member, you need
Just
not apply.
need
Stay
not
home.
just
Stay
sit
home
down
because we're gonna
because
tell
yep,
and we're
nope,
gonna be at you every
ain't-
day. We're
nope,
gonna
we
talk
not we
about
not
you in every
we
town
gonna
hall.
show you that money don't always get you
That's the
elected.
wrong.
It
Please do not let teachers union send you
But
off in our neighborhood.
baby,
Please.
baby. So next week though, when we come in here,
Yeah.
we're gonna be looking at measures that have gone before city council and what aldermen have voted on what.
Oh Lord.
Now you get to, because see, a lot of times people don't pay attention to those votes. And so you don't know where your alderman has stood on certain issues, or your alderman has told you, well, I didn't support this or that. And then you find out that they either voted for it or they stayed home. If you stayed home, you voted for it.
Yeah, that's right.
Okay. And
That's
so
right.
there's a lot of aldermen
They
who
play
don't
games.
show
They
up
play
for
games.
votes, or
Yep.
who will go take a bathroom break while the vote is going on because they don't want their name to be associated. We calling you on the carpet too. Just get ready. And so let me tell you something too. You know, I have a lot of aldermen who I have friend no, well, have
I
relationships
think we'll
with.
start bringing
Aldermen
some on the show. We're
aldermen
gonna
that I
sooner or
know.
later.
There are a lot of aldermen that I know. And let me just tell y'all this. Don't start calling me when I call you out, because when I was standing in front of you saying I didn't want the sanctuary city,
Right.
you didn't talk to me.
Yeah, exactly.
So don't call me now. I'm like, you didn't answer
Let
your
me just say that.
phone.
I'm gonna say this.
I ain't
I'm gonna say
answering
this, Carter.
mine.
All of the aldermen need to be put. And listen, let me say this. In every
It's a
ward,
couple of them.
in every
It's
ward,
a couple we want to keep.
every ward, we want to put somebody up for every ward. We gotta put somebody up for everyone. They
Yeah,
gotta earn.
some
They
of them
gotta
need some
earn
Wonder
it.
Bread. Some of them
They
need,
are playing.
yeah.
Everybody.
Some of them need some Wonder
No,
Bread, because we got people running unopposed, and even in
You
some
know
of
it's a
these.
sad state when the most blackest alderman is a Mexican.
Woo!
I'm gonna say this again. It's a very sad state when the blackest alderman in Chicago is a Mexican. Man, Lopez, whenever you ready to run for Congress again,
Now, Lopez, we got
I got you.
We got you,
Matter
Lopez.
of fact, you got a ghetto pass, man.
Yes,
You
yes,
good.
we got you, Lopez, and that's why I said there are some
No,
aldermen.
see, those are not necessarily awards and stuff. Get Lopez good in that space. He is one we're gonna endorse and put our stamp. Whatever Carter and I, we're gonna create a slate from our show perspective.
Yes.
And we're gonna say, all right, these the wards we want to attack, and these are the people we want to put up in these wards, and these are the aldermen that we support that need to be given a chance and maybe our support so they could do better by us.
Yes.
I like that.
I like that too.
Oh, we make them do
And let
right.
me just say this, because the views that you hear expressed here on Intellectual Radio are the views of Tyrone Mohammed and Carter Trust, not the owners and the affiliates of this station.
That's right, and I'm gonna say it again.
Yes.
Our views are our own and not intellectualradio.com. So hate us. Don't hate on them.
Yes.
They've been doing good work for a long time. And while we at it, go to IntellectualRadio.com and subscribe and share. Trust me, go back in some great shows on there. Man, there's a lot of shows on there.
Share.
So let's go. We need this platform. We thank God for this platform. Earl and Wanda have been working hard for a long time. It's time for them to get their flowers while they're here.
Yes.
So, we're going to do something. That's why, man, I can't wait till we get ECCSC, our center back up and running, so we can give out some real awards.
Yes.
Some real ones.
Yes.
And
it's coming, y'all.
It's coming.
You know what? Let me tell y'all something. Tyrone and I, we got some things in the work. And as this thing moves forward and we really begin to ground ourselves in what is happening in and around the city, like I said, if there are some things that you want us to discuss, hit the DMs, let us know. We'll talk about it. Sometimes there are issues that are going on around the city that we may not be abreast of, but light needs to be shined on them. So please hit the DMs. Let us know what's going on. Let us know if it's a fight that we need to be fighting. If we need to show up some places, Tyrone don't mind going to jail.
I
haven't quite got there yet.
That's real. But let me say this again before we close. Let me say this again before, it's hard on the family when you go. I got a 10-pound. I got a 10-pound multi-pool that I don't think it's hard on him than anybody. I think, but because he can't necessarily take care of himself and trade, she'll say, all right, he'll be all right. That's what he do. But I'm telling y'all, like I got caught tomorrow at 11. Then I'm gonna have to post it on there, redo it. I don't even know the time, but I know I got caught tomorrow for so-called trespassing on a Holiday Inn parking lot on 74th and Cicero that house migrants. I go to jail for going to a hotel for trespassing, and I'm American citizens, and the migrants are protected within the Holiday Inn. That don't even sound right. I'm telling Trump, and I'm telling Tom Homan that they over there in the Holiday Inn. I'm going over there with them. That's the irony of that, right? The irony is going to be, I'm going in the Holiday Inn and leading the cavalry of ICE to say, hey, we're going to go and get these up out of here. So I'm funny, but I'm for real.
We serious, though.
But like, with that
we laughing, but we serious.
No, it's serious. So funny.
It's serious business.
Hey, we going to do it. But go subscribe and share. Please share the live on IntellectualRadio.com. Help us get these. Help us get this views up and the support.
Yes, we'll be back on Thursday. We are here every Tuesday and Thursday. Please tune in. Thanks a lot for listening in.
Bye-bye. Check it out.
God's gonna trouble water. You ain't got enough money.